Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we got an exciting one for you. Jason at RevMap sent me over his little OBD dongle, so we are going to be switching over to the RevMap Performance SRI tune. So this is Jason's tune for the short runner intake. As you know, I am currently IE stage 2 with their full setup of goodies, so the integrated engineering short runner intake manifold. We're going to switch tunes over. I'm going to do my best to take you through the entire process. So I'm going to try to get everything covered on the computer, getting it flashed, try to do a reaction video and kind of compare it back to back with the integrated engineering stage 2 tune, and show you some of the cool little features that you can add on with Jason at RevMap to the RevMap tune for the Volkswagen 2.5 liter. So don't go anywhere. This is going to be a good video. Make sure you watch all the way to the end. Might have to break it into two parts. We'll see how it's going, but you'll have to watch to the end to find out if there's going to be a part two. This is going to be fun. Like I said, he sent over the cable and everything, so it comes with the USB cable and the OBD dongle. Everything you need other than your laptop and the software to get it flashed. So I'm going to take you through the whole process. Don't go anywhere. Like I said, going to try to take you through this whole process. We are on the laptop right now because the first thing we have to do is go to RevMapPerformance.com and download Revflash. It's kind of the tool you need for this whole process. Go to RevMapPerformance.com and you'll probably get an important notice. They're experiencing a rush period. Always pay attention to these. It's really cool that Jason puts these out so you don't just go to the website, order something, and be like, hey, where's my stuff? He actually kind of keeps you updated with everything. This one's actually requiring you to accept that you understand. And then I understand, yes. He always puts up at the top there what time it is, whether they're currently closed or not, which is pretty cool. Hit the little lines here. Hit Revflash. And then from there you can go over to where it says tuning, download Revflash, and you can see that it'll automatically pop up. So your executive file is automatically going to download. Run the file. I'm just going to go through, get this set up real quick, so probably not a lot of talking, but it's just running through everything. Pretty fast process. It's not a big program, so it shouldn't take you that long, obviously depending on your computer, but everything's downloaded now, installed. First time you open it you might get an error and need to run some other stuff that you may or may not have installed on your system already. Now we got it. You're missing the required driver to use Revflash. Congratulations, you're up to date. Wonderful. And here we are at the login. So if you don't have a login, you need to make a login. If you have a login, log in. So at RevMapPerformance.com, just go to my account. That's where you can either log in or register if you don't have a login already. So this is where you're going to register, create your username, your email address, password, all that stuff, register. So I'm going to get that taken care of, and then we'll head over to Revflash and finish up there. Now that we're logged in, you're at basically the initial screen here. You got to run your vehicle identification. This is going to link your ECU and kind of queue it into Jason's server. So it's going to queue you up. That way he can run through everyone that's in there and create a tune for your specific ECU. This isn't like integrated engineering where they just have an off-the-shelf tune that kind of universal and works on everyone's ECU. So this is more tailored to you specifically. That way all the settings can be proper to the ECU that you have, and you don't run into any issues. I know on IE I have heard some people say that they've had issues running the tune on their particular ECU. So this is where you got to go out to the car, use that fancy cable that you got, and start doing some stuff. So time for us to get in the garage. So we're on the main page of RevMapPerformance.com, Jason's website here. Just some things I wanted to go over before we go out to the car. Some cool things that he's got up on here. If you hit that Revflash, this takes you to the user documentation section. He's got a bunch of good information out here from the Charles, the 2.5 swap wizard. It's going to tell you how to repin some stuff if you're doing a 2.5 swap. He's got some stuff like a preparation guide for if you're going turbo. So a preparation guide to make sure you're ready for the tune before he does the tune, and you go through that whole headache when the car's not set up. So lots of good data here. And then if you notice, every time I open RevMap Performance, it says driver not found, and you go through that download process, you feel like, hey, I already downloaded and installed this. It's coming up with that because you don't have the cable connected to the computer right now. So if you have the cable connected to your car and to the computer, it's going to recognize the cable, and you should avoid this process, if that makes sense. So yeah, we got to do the vehicle identification, so we got to head out to the car and plug everything in and run that on here. So let's get to the garage. We are in the car, we are hooked up. Let's open Revflash. You're up to date. Thank you. Log in. Your right password. So now that we're all plugged in and logged in and running, we can run the vehicle identification. It's going to say, hey, before accessing the software's functionalities, we must first identify your ECU. Please turn the ignition to the on position. So turn your ignition on. Start identification. Says your ECU identification has been submitted. The server has reported no compatible files on the server for ECU. A complete identification has been forwarded to the development team, and the file will be manually processed within 1 to 2 business days. Please contact support if you have any questions. So it went through the process, found nothing on the server because Jason hasn't had our ECU yet, so he hasn't made the tune for it. We are now queued up into the system on his server, so Jason will get to it when he runs through everyone ahead of us, and then he'll get to ours, make the tune for our ECU, upload it to the server, and then we can go in and flash it to the car. So we just gotta wait. Well, I just got word from Jason that the file's ready, so it's time to get this bad boy flashed onto the ECU. A few days for me, a few business days. Just a quick short video transition for you guys. There is something very important that you need to take care of before we go through the flashing process though. And that is making sure that your battery is connected to a charger. In this instance, I'm using the Noco Genius 1 amp. This is a charger slash maintainer. It is just a 1 amp little charger. I have had this on overnight, so as you can see on the charger there, the battery was green. This battery is topped off. It is also a fairly fresh battery. I have all the confidence in the world with this. Noco does make a couple different other options. There are also other brands out there that go up in amperage. So if you're worried about it, you can get a 5 or even a 10 amp charger. But you want to make sure that you have juice connected to this, because if for some reason your battery dies during the process of flashing, it'll brick your ECU. And we don't want that to happen. So this is just the least amount of safeguard that you can absolutely do with the 1 amp here. Just making sure we've got all the juice to do the process. This also goes for your laptop too, guys. I know a lot of you guys out there, sometimes we have old laptops where the battery's just shot and actually needs to be plugged in. If you don't, the battery either just doesn't work or it'll die fairly quickly. So you also don't want your laptop to die during the process. So make sure that's got plenty of power, make sure that's got plenty of power, and then we can get into the process. All right, we are back in the car. Jason sent me an email saying the tune was ready to go. So we got to open up Revflash here. We'll get logged in and we'll get this thing flashed onto the ECU. So we're going to do the run vehicle identification again. It's going to tell you to put the key in the on position. So turn your ignition on, hit start identification again. It's going to go through its process here. So now you can see that the tune is ready. Before, when we were just getting queued up to get our tune with Jason, we only had the stock file here. Now we have the integrated engineering SRI tune for Brian, which is me. So we can click on that, hit flash. It says, warning, please ensure the car's battery is on a battery charger. It is critical that the battery voltage remain above 12 volts during the flashing process. Revflash is still in development, and while we work diligently to minimize risks, it's not entirely risk-free. If you're uncertain about using Revflash, please contact us for a remote flashing session. So basically liability waiver here. We are hooked up to that battery charger like I showed you, the Noco Genius 1 amp. Like I said, you can use a 5 amp or 10 amp to give you a little bit more cushion on that. I've always had plenty of success with all this kind of stuff with the 1 amp. So we're going to start the flashing process. It says please plug in a battery charger before flashing the ECU. If you wish to continue, you accept the risk of breaking the ECU. Battery voltage detected is 12.047. I am plugged in, but it's not a high amp output. It's fine. I accept the risk. Turn the ignition to the off position, then click OK. Turn the ignition to the on position, then click OK. And it's just going to run through all its checks here and do everything. There will be some points that come up where we need to do some stuff, so just keep an eye on it. Right now you can see it's erasing the flash memory, and then it'll just continue through its process. So we're just going to go through all the checks and balances here and get this thing flashed over. And I don't know if you can hear it, but the fans just kicked on. That's because you're running a high draw on the battery system here, so your fans and stuff will kick on. This is why it's important to have a battery charger hooked up, because you are using a lot of juice here without the engine running, so you don't have the alternator replenishing while you're doing this process. So this is why it's very important to have checker plugged in. And the Noco did switch over to charging, so the red light is on, which is good. Request download failed for patched bootloader. Please try again. If the error persists, contact support for assistance. Interesting. Let's try this again. I am connected to the internet, which is good. Which is how it communicated here to show that I have both the tunes. So let's start this again, see what happens. Turn ignition off. Click OK. Please wait 15 seconds. You can see the counter going across the bottom there. Turn the ignition on. Then click OK. Now for some of you this is going to be the scary part because it's erasing blocks. Yeah, we're right in the tune. So if anything happens during this part of the process, this is where you're going to run into an issue with your ECU, getting it bricked. So that's why it's also very important to have it charged, not have an issue with your laptop. Everything you want power, you don't want any interruptions. So can be nerve-wracking for some, but it's just part of the process. You just gotta let it happen. This is where you can see the battery voltage showed up on here, dipped just below 12 volts, but it'll be alright. Warm out here. Oof. And it's been humid lately. I don't know what's going on with Arizona, but last several weeks I'm sweating like a dog out here. It's been humid. Is what it is, I guess. Can't exactly take the car inside to flash it, so kinda gotta do what you gotta do. Action required. Turn ignition off. Ta-da. Okay. Please wait 5 seconds. Please turn ignition on. Click OK. The tune has been successfully flashed. That's what we wanted. Hold on. Gotta take a picture real quick. Nailed it. Okay. We're flashed. As simple as that. I don't know if you paid attention to the flashing process, but brick 2 or block 2 was the longest one. So that had the majority of the file on it. The rest of the blocks 1 through 5 went pretty quick. So that is everything there to get you flashed over. So you're all set. You can go enjoy this bad boy and yeah, have some fun with your tune. Don't go anywhere though, because we're gonna do a little bit of a bonus feature at the end of this video. So right now, I guess let's transition over to that. All right, so little bonus that we're gonna do at the end, we are gonna set up the logging feature. So like I've said, Jason, you can send logs over to him and he can revise it based on your specific setup, kind of make adjustments to the tune. This really comes in a lot more handy when you're boosting the 07K. So turbo tune, obviously all the different turbos and all the different setups, intercoolers, everything that play a factor in how the engine's going to run. Sending him logs and letting him adjust stuff so you can revise the tune. It's way more prevalent there than in the NA form, but we're going to set up the logging feature, especially since I do track this car. I've got one season that I'm going to do on the NA tune here, so we want to maximize it and make sure it's as good to go as we can. So we are on the user documentation page of RevMap Performance, his website, so revmapperformance.com, and the document section. You can see over on the left here, you can download the logger. So it's going to be kind of the same setup as downloading Revflash. All right, now we can get this set up. So you can see when we get to the protocol selection, when we're going through, you can see right here, by default, you would want to select VAG, KWP, ECU Basic, unless otherwise noted. So he did tell me to select KWP Advanced. That's particular to me. So unless otherwise noted, that's what you're going to want to set up. So let's get the logger open. Where's my logger? There we are. Now we got our logger open. So where is VAG KWP Advanced? But first, open port 2.0. You can select a log folder here. This is where it's going to save all the logs to your laptop. So just like selecting a folder where you're going to download or save anything else. There we go. We got our protocol selection. Hit continue. Now you do need internet connection when you're getting this set up. Once you're in, you don't need the internet connection. So obviously when you're logging, driving down the road, you're not going to have internet. But we can read ECU. Failed. Turn the ignition on. Try that again with the ignition on. There we go. So you can see here, everything accepted. Your logging request has been submitted to RevMap Performance. So this is going to submit a request. Once they accept that request, you can start logging and sending them the data. So we're all in the system. It's the same as the tune. We'll go into this actually logging and sending logs and stuff in another video, but I just wanted to get you set up on everything to do that. Since you just flashed the tune, this is kind of the next step. You can get queued into their system so they can accept it, and you can be ready to send logs. So that's pretty much it. Hey. All right, well, we successfully flashed the new RevMap Performance SRI tune onto the Volkswagen 2.5 liter 07K 5-cylinder engine here, using a basic 1 amp Noco Genius battery charger / maintainer. Everything went good. That's going to be it for this video. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Stay tuned for more videos, because obviously we got to go drive it now. We got to give it a shakedown. We got to test it, see how it feels compared to the IE Stage 2 off-the-shelf tune that was on the car. So I'm going to try to give you guys as much feedback comparatively wise on those two And then we also have to go through the logging feature and do all this other stuff. So there's definitely more videos coming with the RevMap software and everything. So yeah, part 2, part 3, maybe more coming. So make sure you're subscribed. Leave a comment down below if you got any questions. I definitely do read those, and I appreciate all of you for subscribing, liking, and keeping this channel alive. So we're just trying to spread 5-cylinder joy to the world. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna get ready and go take this guy for a spin and see how it feels. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.